Hello. Hi, I'm Patricia McNeely. I'm an illumined Blu-ray twin flame from Chicago, Illinois. I hope you're doing well today. Today I want to talk to you about Mercury direct, and we're coming up to the 29th here and what the significance means for twin flames. And my last video I talked about the Great Awakening, the big wake-up call. So I want to let you know some things, and I've got the world here again. We're going to talk a little bit about why this world is significant and certain parts of this world where some things are going to be popping so that everything continues moving forward, people continue awakening, new things start happening, and the love can get to where it needs to get. Now, in my last video, I did mention quite a few countries. Those countries were actually new to me. I have certainly spoken to people, quite a few people in the UK, especially in England, Ireland, Scotland. So just to get this out of the way, Canada, Alaska, the United States, all parts of it, Mexico, the Dominican Republic, I have talked to people who have connections to the islands. They don't really live there. Costa Rica, Honduras. Just because you don't hear your country doesn't mean you're excluded. Several countries in South America. Ecuador, Colombia, Guyana. Some of the other countries here like Peru, Chile, Brazil, Argentina. And you can see where I've sort of circled the cities. New Zealand, Tahiti, Hawaii, and some parts of Africa. Quite a few people in India, Malaysia, the Philippines, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Mongolia. Oh, Mongolia's here. Some of these areas here, Kyrgyzstan, I spoke to someone, Afghanistan, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, Estonia, Russia, Turkey, Ukraine, Greece, Moldova, Poland, Yugoslavia, Serbia, Macedonia, and some of these countries you're identifying as your lineage. Assyrian people, Sicilian people, Italian people, Spanish people, Portuguese people, Moroccan people, French people, the Netherlands, another hotbed. So you have a few countries where you are a hotbed of twin flames. And it keeps expanding. That's the beauty part. It keeps expanding and expanding. But what I want to talk to you about specifically with this Mercury direct is the triangle trades and some of the trades, trading and trafficking in human and how we are correcting it. So for some time, I have been working at night. One of my high-level tasks as a Blu-ray rod and staff has been the what I call the healing and transporting of other spirits, other people, getting them to where they need to be, reintegrating them somewhere, getting them where they need to be, and having them ready to enter into a fully physical union. And there's been a lot of impatient people. They say, come on, it's taken time. You know, you said you were going to wake these people up. It's very subjective. So what I want to say to you is there's always the chance that someone will wake up and take the bull by the horns. Just because they haven't doesn't mean that it's off. It is most definitely on. It is for this coming season especially. So 2 weeks ago, I had this dream. where we had everyone situated. And in the dream, it was like a reverse evacuation. It was as though everyone was on the outskirts of the town, and they were lined up alongside the road, sleeping. It was twilight, and while they were sleeping, myself and several other people who I could feel but not really see, I could feel them as other Blu-rays. We were observing everyone and getting all of the transportation ready because we were going to be waking them up, and each and every person, I kid you not, was covered with a red blanket like this, like almost enshrouded in it, asleep, safe, secure, ready for transport. And the red blankie, I call this their own personal red blankie of passion. They don't need to ride the passion of anyone else. They each had every single personal, and this was millions of people lining the road, and we're driving along in something like a Jeep, and I say, don't run over any of them. And I got this look like, are you kidding? After all this work, we're not going to run over anybody. We're getting them safely to their destination. We are transporting them back to where they live, back home for love, back home for their own passion, the red blankie of passion. And it covered them from head to toe. And yet I just knew what it was, just like in those dreams where you just know. And what is it that we are doing here? Well, as in many ways, many of the feminine, but not just exclusively the feminine and masculine counterparts have been waiting patiently. You see, she's got all of her chakras ready here. She's got her connections along the solar plexus, all of her cosmic connections, and she's ready to connect her heart to her true love. She's been holding vigils and rituals, and she's been waiting, but all she has to do is expect and do her part to get her body ready. Her body's ready, and he will begin waking up. How have we done this? Well, and I'm going to talk about the origins of, where some of this stuff went down and what it means. But essentially, you have multiples of people. They've been taken, enslaved, kidnapped, or something like that, forced to do things that they don't want to do. And we have lovingly placed them, and these are connected to our hearts. We have transported them, multiples of people. And you may say, really? Well, yes, that's a lot of what I've been working on for years. And I'm very happy to say we are at the point now where major transport is done. All of these planets, when they go retrograde, these are a transit. This is the transit. People get they're held on something, and then it gets lifted up and brought. Now, the spirits of these people have been brought to a certain point. Some of them are still sleepers. And that's what I said in my November 2015 video when I said the dreamers will be awakening. I've known this for some time. The very first ones are going to be, whoops, let me get this off of here. The very first ones are actually those nearest and dearest to us, those people that you have created. What happens when twin flames make love? We create. Whoops. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let's get this situated. Sorry about that. Okay, so this Mercury direct is all about the lost children. Now, lost children of twin flames, many of them are now adults. They're not always the immediate children in your family, meaning minors or young children. They can be adults. And they've been interpreted as the lost souls. We have lost some of those people. if people were kidnapped, if they were taken. And here on Earth, that means taken from villages, kidnapped, slaved, sold, trafficked. That's what we're doing now. The lost souls and the detached spirits, because what happens to people when that kind of trauma happens to them? They dissociate, they detach part of them. They've lost their spirit. They've had it possibly harmed or even beaten out of them. And no more. This is where the buck stops here. And we are waking up those children that we birthed and had from Aldebaran. Now, Aldebaran is in the constellation of Taurus, which we just passed through. It's the red eye, it's the red star, it's the eye in the constellation. But that was a planetary system that especially blue rays lived on. And things went down there. Things fell down. But it's slipped, and we've brought it back now. Aldebaran, Lyra. Interestingly, about 2 years ago, I was asked to chaperone a weekend camp for my son's class. And so we go to this YMCA camp, and I'm going to chaperone some of the girls. And the cabins were named after certain stars or constellations. So there was Sagitta. Guess which one I was put in? I kid you not. Only this stuff happens to blue rays. It was Lyra. And Lyra is a place where there were attacks, there were invasions. People came and took what wasn't theirs. It's taken us quite some time to recover, retrieve, restore, repair, and reconnect. And for those of you who haven't been able to hold steady for this, or have given up or retreated back into old ways of life, there's going to be another go around for you. You're going to be able to, and I will say to you, you may be very surprised to find that your own twin actually does wake up and not only knows what you know, but is ready for you. So you may find yourself in a scramble here that when Mercury goes direct, oh my goodness, time to get your home ready, time to get your life ready. Your twin is aware and awake. You don't need to pound them with articles and videos and information. It's enough that you are taking in the information. That's all. You share parts. You don't have to also do that. So this is going to be Orion, and this is an important one as well. This is the one that several old religious books, especially from the Talmud and from some parts of Sanskrit, talk about the angelics that came from those systems. And it's all changed now. So if you've identified with some of that, certain old ancient books, that's the time frame. And then it came through here, it came from there to the Pleiades, to some of these other planets. And the Andromeda is a huge place. That actually is a galaxy, so this encompasses several planetary systems. Jupiter, where a lot of the masculine energy is about to wake up. If you feel like Jupiter's your planet or a special place for you, there's a reason for it. And Jupiter is the magical. This would be the masculine who is the magician. It's going to be the one who is the wizard, the seer, not with the bad connotations. We got rid of the bad connotations several months ago. I recall stopping over to a friend's house, and they had a TV show on, and there was, it's one of these B horror shows where they show, and it was a Bela Lugosi movie. And it was about the cult of Bastet. And I never forget, the only line I heard in it as I stopped over was, "The black magicians of the fourth dimension." And I said, ooh, there it is. We're getting rid of all of the black magic, the dark stuff, some of the stuff that the masculine has done to survive. Jupiter, Neptune, a very special planet for reintegration into physical living. I myself, when I was a child and I would have my flying dreams, my floating dreams, I dreamt that I was somewhere, it was on Neptune. And many other people have this awareness of Neptune. You may not know where it was, but if you've had dreams of flying or an atmosphere where things, you could almost bounce down the stairs, it was sort of like moonwalking, Neptune. Venus, very bright planet, and Mars, sort of a desert atmosphere. And these, if you were born or your twin flame was born in these constellations, 90% chance that you're going to wake up. And again, I do my best to be as accurate as possible. I can't be 100%. I'm not in charge of it. But this is what I received. Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, they're all adjusted and ready for wake up, meaning the connections are made, the setup is there, your life about to come together is there. And as you'll notice, from Taurus going from March to September, that's all I've been talking about. March to September, March to September, March to the September. And these types of habits, tendencies to escape. So you're releasing all of this from your cells, from your subtle bodies. And I'm going to say it right here. The webinar that I did called Catching Your Spirit and Sealing the Gates of the Heart, very important for this time. That covers things like escapism, abandonment, disappointments. We got rid of a lot of the bitterness last year. That was a really tough one for a lot of people. Neglect, insufficient nurturing. So if you think about lost children, what would come to you? Children snatched away, not enough nutrition, ripped from their parents or ripped from their mom, maybe taken before they had weaned and they have the antibodies built up in their body. Now, when you're talking about angelic children, those are the etheric sides of us. That is the spiritual DNA, the spiritual lineage. So the escapism takes forms of drinking, drugging, smoking, or what you could call the drinkers, smokers, and tokers. If you have a twin that drinks alcohol, drinks to excess, I'm not talking about a social glass of wine here and there, drinks to excess, escapes quite a bit, is prone to taking drugs, getting high, having themselves seem like they somehow are in a disorder or something like that. You know, they have people around them that might be enabling that behavior too. There may be people that rationalize it as well and just say, well, it's not that much. When it comes to your twin flame union, these tendencies to escape, it's going to start to fall away. You can help it along through the exercises in my webinar called Catching Your Spirit Body. We are creating here, especially through my exercises, because my exercises are for opening your channels and releasing easily traumas, wounds, cataclysmic events, things that truly have affected you, things that people would want to hide and escape from. Why would people hide from love? When what they feel is pain, and it's mental pain, it's emotional pain, it's pain that has affected the organs, the eyes, and a lot of them can't see. They can't see. They're going to get woken up. Those of you who've been waiting and really holding strong here, this is your time, because you also will have further awakenings. You both will. There are further mergings for both of you, and you have to be ready for them. So the change in the hearts and the minds comes through the body. Changing your mood can come through the body as well. It's not always emotional. It's stuff that wafts off of other people. How many people have felt their arms aching or burning? How many people have felt like a weird depression that you know wasn't yours? How many people have felt like a dragging down feeling? Get my exercises from my webinars. I'm going to have them on here for a special. There are 2 right now that are pertinent. The cosmic body reconnection is still pertinent. The one that I just did called Expansion of Love, Erasing the Past, especially if you're a Blu-ray. If you're a Blu-ray and you don't really know what I'm talking about, chances are that you're going to get called up here pretty quickly, and that you'll begin to know some of the things that you are here to do by result of your love. What is the mission? Mission? Okay, dun 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 dun. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is become one, make love, create the third energy. That's it, people. I'm going to talk in the future about how do you get things going for yourself and how do you properly maintain here. Because, yeah, there's an expectation that you will. All of us. And so the catching your spirit body. Oops. And sealing the gates of your heart. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the map here because I got some specific countries that will really have quite a few people waking up. Now, if some of your efforts have been met with derision, if you have people around you that scoff at you, people that you talk to and they say, why are you obsessing? This is not an obsession. It is the only reason that you were born here. You weren't born to live and die a crappy life. You're not crazy. And parts of you are going to know this. You're going to be able to, if you've opened your channels and clear, feel your twins' awakenings. So in the United States, in the UK, which is more than just England. So the UK at one time was the empire that the sun never sets on. So there's parts way out here, New Zealand, Hong Kong, India, Africa. There's all kinds of parts where England has touched, and they've been instrumental in both industrial growth. And there's a lot of stuff under every empire. People talk about, does the United States have an empire? Well, sometimes it kind of feels like that. But we're a democracy, but we have a little, finger in people's pies that maybe we shouldn't. Okay, Germany, because Germany has been smack in the middle of Europe, and they've been instrumental in several innovations, but first and foremost, this has been one of the areas where some of the lost children from Atlantis went to when they were recovered. China is going to be waking up big time. They've been going through the death throes of old things. They've had several ancient empires. They go back thousands of years with their recorded history, much more than other parts. And they too have had their growing pains. So China and Africa. Now, just because I don't have a lot marked here on Africa, what I want to say about Africa is one of those places that, yeah, it's been exploited quite a bit, but they're going to begin waking up and having like a resurgence of energy. What has been taken from them will be given back, because the wake-ups that happen in the United States, and, you could see some of this in what is the triangle trade. If you have a country like Portugal that goes and, gathers goods and services, and yet then they start delving into maybe human trade, and yet they've helped to create a new culture in Brazil, and the people in Brazil are still finding their identity, keeping the best of the best, clearing out old wounds. And this country is clearing out its old wounds and connections. I mean, this is real stuff, people. This is some of the long ago ancient timelines that are clearing out so that you can have a nice life. No finger pointing. I mean, I say that the United States have done stuff. Other countries have done stuff, and yet we're trying to raise everything to a level of equality. I remember when our president, who right now is in Japan, offering the first of what might be, more amends to Japan for our part in decimating parts of them. I mean, that's to me something that as a child, when I read about this, made me sick. I mean, it literally made me sick for months because I had a recollection of it from some other planet. I didn't quite know that, but history has repeated itself, and the buck stops here. The buck stops here with all of this, and a lot of the denser connections, the negativity, it's leaving. So, that's got to start from somewhere. It's going to be continuing with the next wake-ups, and I could say it like this. It's raining men, because the masculine is going to wake up to the new part of him. Ditching, I've seen a lot of older men working on their inner child stuff, esteem issues, some of the things that I outlined on there. Some of the things that people would know comes from a life that was not sufficient for them. Insufficient nurturing, insufficient nutrition, being abandoned, being neglected, being hurt, having to suppress their emotions. And a lot of people have had to do this, a lot of people. And so when they address the inner child, it just all comes up and out. The younger boys, I've been seeing releasing their cranky old man, because even the masculine who is here, we've all had lives of maybe living to old age or feeling decrepit, feeling the arthritis, feeling our bodies just decaying because they are not connected properly. You're not sufficiently loved and nurtured. So this is a lot of what I cover in my webinars. I hope that you buy it. I hope that it helps you, because I know it will. My most recent one is especially instrumental for getting up and over all of these retrogrades. If you want an easy way to do things and start coming into your own flow and abundance, get busy working on your body, which I talk about extensively in my webinars, especially the recent one. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. I'm going to be doing some more Angel Time videos. That gives you a little peek and a little taste of what I do in my webinars. And it's for free. It's like getting an appetizer when you go to a restaurant, or trying, here's the plate that we've prepared. Here, try it out. Try it out. I'm going to be doing one this weekend. This weekend here in the United States is a Memorial Day. This is our big weekend when we remember wars. We honor those people who have fought and defended, even when they really felt they were doing it for the best reasons. Now, so much has cleared that we can actually look back and we can look at the war propaganda and we can say, what were we thinking? Buy war bonds. Why wouldn't I have invested in myself? And, this has happened in a lot of countries. It happened in Germany. It happened in England. It's happened in Japan. I mean, we've all done things that what we thought was for the greater good. And now it's time to bring it all back to yourself. I'm here as a Blu-ray to say, keep calm, the Blu-rays are on it. We've already transported your lover sufficiently where we're going to wake them up. And if your true love has seemed asleep or keeps seeming to escape, okay, take heart here. Check out the Catching Your Spirit Body and Sealing the Heart. Find out the ways to easily, without blame, shame, guilt, or giving them more esteem issues. You don't want to have a conversation about it. What are you here for? You're here to make love. What is that? You want to have adventures and fun and romance? Okay. The romance is coming. I told you. Red blankie of passion. Your own personal private passion is coming for you, not for anyone to hack into. You've been utterly protected this whole time. We have lovingly protected all of our children. We've gotten them to the point where everything that a good parent would wish is going to come. And do people have to take a few baby steps? Oh, you betcha. We can't do everything for you. Can't do everything, and nor should we. However, get some of this to help you. The links will be below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone have a wonderful holiday weekend if you are. One special note to all the men out there. You may feel things for yourself that might seem a bit foreign. You're entitled to your feelings. You may feel like you've somehow been relegated to just the dad, or I'm just the provider, or I'm just the guy that drives the car, or I'm just a guy at work. You're more than that. And love is here for you. You may feel like that because that's some of the emotion that is going out over this weekend and with this retrograde. Let it come out of you. You're absolutely entitled to your feelings. You'll spring back from it, and even better, try one of my webinars so you can zip line right over it and have it gone for good. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy. Bye now.